Alright, we got the craziest month in NBA history.
In his first 5 games as a starter, he scored
I
more
heard about
points
Jeremy
than
Lin though.
anybody since 1975. But just 2 weeks earlier,
Like
Jeremy Lin was
couple of
sleeping on his
stories.
brother's couch, expecting to get cut. If you don't play well tonight, it'll probably be your last game in the NBA. That's what Lin's agent told him on February 4th, 2012, hours before the Knicks played the Nets at the Garden. Depleted by injuries, New York's coach Mike D'Antoni was forced to give a chance to his 4th-string point guard, not expecting much. Before that game, Lin was a virtual nobody, constantly being mistaken for a team trainer by security guards at Madison Square Garden. A month later, he was arguably the most famous basketball player on earth, with more jersey sales than Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. This is the story of Linsanity, breaking stereotypes and the craziest path to NBA superstardom of all time. Jeremy Lin was overlooked his whole life by scouts, coaches, even by his own parents. His parents are both 5'6", and they never understood their son's obsession with basketball. But as long as he got good grades, they let him play. And because he loved playing so much, Jeremy always had good grades.
Chasing
And
your dream, huh?
He became really good at basketball. Yet nobody seemed to care. Even though he averaged 16.4 points, 4.5 assists, and 2.4 steals as a senior, leading Palo Alto High School
pretty
to a
good.
2-1 record,
Whoa.
and defeating the favorite Mater Dei in the finals to clinch the Division II championship, college offers for Jeremy were nowhere to be seen. Lin grew up across the street from.
He's gotta be racially motivated, bro. He gotta be, bro. Because he's Asian. I'm telling you, bro. He gotta be. There's no way.
Coaches were entirely unaware of Lin. Jeremy actually
And he's kind of small as well. It's not that tall either, so.
No Division I program.
And I remember there was a thing like back then, like they didn't really fuck with people that were no Americans and all that. Wait, is Jeremy even American? Thing is, he might be. I don't know. I don't know if he was born in America or not. What? Yeah, see, 6'1", and you Asian too. Like, he's like, damn. That's what I'm saying, bro. And you Asian as well. If you pip it, bro, like most Asian dudes in the NBA, like 7 foot tall, bro. Like you know.
See a lot of Asian point guards making in Division I.
Yeah, for sure.
Guards get stereotyped, but for Asians, it was a whole different level, as no Asian point guard ever had a meaningful role in the NBA. Lin was battling racist remarks his whole life,
Facts.
opposing players and fans, and was
I knew it, bro.
Weak link, but his confidence never wavered. And after they saw him dominate Division I players at an AAU tournament, Lin's talent was finally recognized by Harvard's coaches, who decided to offer him a scholarship. Harvard's underwhelming basketball program was desperate for talent, and Lin was also a great student with a 4.2 GPA, so he fit their mold perfectly. However, as a freshman, Lin was physically the weakest player at Harvard, and he barely played. But in 2008, his sophomore season, Lin got stronger, averaging 12.6 points per
That's
game.
good.
He was named to the All-Ivy League second team. In his junior year, Jeremy improved across the board, averaging 17.8
Damn.
5.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 2.4
Woo,
steals.
that's a good
Excellent
stats, I ain't gonna lie.
percentages. Lin was the only Division I player ranked in the top 10 in his conference in all major statistical categories, and was a consensus selection for the All-Ivy League first team. As a senior, Lin's numbers stayed virtually the same, but due to his experience, better decision-making, and leadership, Harvard finished the season with a 21-8 record, the best result in the program's history at the time. Lin finally gained national attention, mainly for his performance against the 12th-ranked Connecticut, where he scored a
It look way more slim, yeah.
points,
Woo!
9 rebounds,
Against Kemba.
Jeremy
Oh.
graduated from Harvard with a degree in economics, a 3.1 GPA, and was an Ivy
And
League
dude was working on the side as well. But imagine if his parent his parent is Asian. I feel like in any universe, he probably had to work extremely hard in school as well. But imagine he didn't really have to work like that. He could have put all the work in basketball, bro. Probably would have been way better, bro. I'm telling you.
Lin put his name into the 2010 NBA draft, but the same pattern emerged as he was once again overlooked by everybody.
If I don't get drafted here, I probably won't get drafted. I'm thinking like, oh, if I get drafted, what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna run around like hugging everyone. I'm gonna fly to New York tomorrow.
Most scouting reports viewed him as a smart passer with a flawed jump shot and a thin frame, who might not have the strength and athleticism to defend, create his own shot, or finish at the rim in the NBA. Daryl Morey, the then general manager of the Rockets, put Jeremy's stats and draft combine results into a complex computer model. which projected Jeremy to be the 15th best player in the draft. But Morey and his staff weren't prepared to place blind trust in their model, because as an Asian American kid, Lin simply didn't pass the eye test. A year after Houston and every other team let Lin go undrafted, the Rockets began measuring the speed of a player's first 2 steps. And Lin had the quickest first step of any player measured. He's incredibly athletic, but the reality is that every person, including me, thought he was unathletic, and I can't think of any reason for it other than he was Asian. However, despite all the stereotypes, one general manager saw past his ethnicity, Donnie Nelson of the Dallas Mavericks. Nelson offered him a spot on the Mavs Summer League team, and Lin used his opportunity to the fullest, averaging 9.8 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.8 assists in 18.6 minutes per game.
He can't dunk too? What? Oh, yo, that's the most surprising thing of this whole video, bro. I had no idea he could dunk.
Ultimately deciding to sign with his hometown Warriors, who offered him a 2-year contract.
I was like, you know, I picked my little brother up. I'm like, I'm signing with Golden State.
But in the 2010-2011 season, Jeremy saw little playing time behind Steph Curry and Monte Ellis.
Yeah, for sure.
Just 29 games, averaging 2.6 points in less than 10 minutes per game.
Damn.
During the offseason, Lin worked hard to improve his game. He restructured his jump shot by abandoning the shooting form he had used since the 8th grade. He also increased his strength, doubling the weight he could squat from 110 pounds to 231 pounds, and almost
the Asian is strong in those things, bro.
From 12 to 30. Lin increased his body
Wait, what? That's cap. That's cap. Come on, bro. That's cap.
Helped him. Lin 31 pounds and almost tripling the number of pull-ups he could do from 12 to 30.
30 pull-ups, bro. Come on. Do you guys even realize that 30 pull-ups is only in the 1%? Like only 1% of people can do pull-ups, and a basketball player at that. Come on, bro. That's cap. I don't see it. Nah, bro. Fake stats.
200 pounds.
That's fake stats.
And the added muscle helped him add 3.5 inches to his standing vertical jump and 6 inches to his running vertical jump, while his lateral quickness improved by 32%. However, during the NBA lockout, Jeremy never got a chance to work out for new Warriors coach Bart Jackson. On his first day of training camp, the Warriors waived Lin and his $800,000 contract to free up salary cap space.
$800,000.
Assistant general manager were like, we gotta let you go. We're trying to get DeAndre Jordan.
3 days later,
DeAndre,
by the Rockets.
He's
But
decent.
Before the start of the season, Houston waived him too.
God
On December 27th,
damn.
2011, after injuries to guards Iman Shumpert and Baron Davis, the New York Knicks claimed Lin off waivers to be a backup point guard behind Tony Douglas and Mike Bibby. Essentially, Jeremy was the backup's backup, but he was used to being overlooked.
During practice, Jeremy would stand right beside me on the side of the court and not really get in even in practice. He was just there in case one of these guys got hurt.
And he kept working extremely hard to get a chance to play. Lin was the first to arrive in the practice facility and the last one to leave, but the Knicks still played him just 6 minutes per game off the bench in his first 9 appearances for the team. But then, out of sheer desperation, as the Knicks had an 8-15 record, coach Mike D'Antoni decided to give Lin more opportunity to play, telling Jeremy that he'd play more minutes in a back-to-back game against the Nets on February 4th. Up until that point, Jeremy was sleeping on his brother's couch, not willing to rent his own apartment out of fear of getting cut again. And the night before that February 4th game against the Nets, Lin's brother asked Jeremy to find another place to sleep because he and his wife expected guests, and they needed their couch in their 1-bedroom apartment to be available. Evicted from his brother's home, Jeremy spent the night at Landry Field's house.
You know, I was like, yeah, sure, man, come. I was given forewarning, though, that my couch
Damn.
was huge. It was actually a rental couch at the time. It
Could just buy a hotel, though.
long.
And what happened the next day was something beyond his wildest dreams. Playing against all-star point guard Darren Williams, Lin exploded for a game-high 25 points, including 12 points in the fourth quarter, to seal the 99-92 win for the Knicks. In the game, Lin shot 10 for 19, dished out 7 assists with only 1 turnover, and he also had 2 steals and 5 rebounds. So much stuff had to come together at the right moment. My back was against the wall. That was going to be it for me. My agent had actually called me before the game and said, if you don't play well, tonight will probably be your last game in the NBA. The amount of anxiety, the pressure, just the embarrassment that I was facing. If I would finally make it to the NBA and then just completely underperform and fizzle out, that would have really been a tough pill to swallow. in the most important game of his
I
life.
mean, I
Lynn
can't imagine,
passed
bro.
with flying colors, but that was only the beginning. In the following game against Utah, D'Antoni promoted Lynn to a starter. However, without Carmelo Anthony, who left the game after 5 minutes due to injury, and Amari Stoudemire, who was out due to death in the family, nobody expected the shorthanded Knicks to win. Enter Jeremy Lin, the third-string Asian point guard playing out of his mind. Lin led all scorers with 28 points on 10 for 17 shooting, with 8 assists and 2 steals. Jeremy did have 8 turnovers, but nobody cared, as the Knicks won another game. Despite the unbelievable turnaround from the most unexpected source, the naysayers said that everybody can have a couple of good games. But then, Lin did it again, playing against another all-star point guard, John
Wall.
Arguably the fastest NBA player at the time.
We hit
Facts.
the road and go to Washington, and it's like John Wall again, you know? Like, I played against John Wall in the summer league, and now it's like a rematch. Now I'm playing against him again.
Lin scored 23 points and dished out 10 assists, shooting 9 for 14 from the field.
Damn,
in another
double-double.
victory. Lin was becoming a national sensation, and the word Linsanity was already coined by national media. But before the next game against the Lakers, Kobe Bryant brushed him off.
I don't even know what he's done. Like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'll take a look at it. Who is this kid? Yeah, I've heard about him. Stuff like that. I don't know. What's the
However, after the game, Bryant definitely knew all about Linsanity because Lin torched him and the Lakers with a
No
career
way.
high 38 points on 13 for 23 shooting.
Yo, nah, that's crazy. My boy said, I bet. He said, okay, y'all gonna see it tonight. Yo, that's crazy. Hey, man, that's what's up, bro. I didn't know about
7
this one.
assists and 2 steals.
Yo,
Scored Kobe 38 to 34, including a
oh,
dagger
Kobe
three
did.
in front of
Okay, Kobe did his things too, but you still lost though.
bench. After that game, Linsanity was in full effect, with Knicks merchandise having to order vast amounts of Lin jerseys and t-shirts to satisfy the growing demand. After the game, it was impossible to buy Lin's number 17 jersey. 'Cause
That's
they weren't
tough.
able to buy, as
That's
nobody could have
tough.
predicted that a guy who wasn't even on the Knicks roster at the start of the season would become their most popular player. But Jeremy didn't stop there. Following the Lakers game, Lin dropped 20 in another win against Minnesota. And a few days later, he had another double-double with 27 points and 11 assists against the Raptors. In the final
This shit remind me of that nigga T.J. Warren, bro. Yo, do you guys remember T.J. Warren in the bubbles, bro? That dude turned into Kawhi and Michael Jordan. Bro, he was insane. He was averaging like 35 points per game or some shit, bro. It was
with
ridiculous.
the score tied,
For like a
Lin
month or
waved
something.
every incoming
And after
streak
that, he just
like a
disappeared,
candy
bro.
bag because he wanted to hit the game winner himself.
The crowd on its feet here at the Air Canada Center. Lin puts it up. Bang! Jeremy Lin from downtown.
Man, I like stories like this, bro.
Sacramento, Lin had another double-double with 10 points and 13 assists, leading the Knicks to their 7th straight victory and becoming one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. Less than 2 weeks after he was sleeping on his brother's couch, Lin scored 20-plus points in the next 3 games. And in the 13 games in February, Lin averaged 22 points, 9 assists, and 2.3 steals, leading the
Nice,
Knicks to a
bro.
10-3 record. I have
That's what
never-
people be saying sometime, bro. If you're not desperate enough, that's why you're not working hard right now, bro. See, he was desperate. He had to work. You feel me? That's facts. If he's just sitting on your, you know what I'm saying?
Of newspapers. He's on 3 segments of ESPN. He's on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. And 10 days ago, people didn't even know who he was, said Mitch Modell, the CEO of Modell's Sporting Goods, and one of many who were scrambling to find Lin jerseys during Linsanity. However, after a disappointing 18-24 record, the Knicks fired Coach D'Antoni, and in his place came Mike Woodson, who ran fewer pick and rolls, which didn't suit Jeremy's playing style. In 7 games under the new head coach, Lin averaged a more modest 13 points and 5 assists per game.
That's not
suffering
bad, though.
a meniscus tear that would sideline him for the rest of the season. In 26 games as a full-time player, Jeremy averaged 18 points.
That's decent.
Assists, and the
That's
Knicks
a role
had 6
player
and 10
stat.
in that period. which was crucial for New York to make the playoffs. By the end of the season, Lin's number 17 jersey became the second best-selling jersey in the entire NBA, which is astonishing considering he got waived twice and didn't play for the first half of the season. After the 2012 season ended, Lin became a restricted free agent, and the Rockets offered him a 3-year, $25 million contract. The first 2 years of Houston's offer were for $5 and $5.2 million, followed by $14.8 million the third year. A higher salary,
I'm happy for him, bro.
known as a
He got his bag.
was intended to discourage New York from matching the offer, and the Rockets' plan worked. Despite Lin's success and being the most popular Knicks player of this century, New York declined to match Houston's offer because of that poison pill in the third year of his deal, which would put the Knicks in luxury tax. And that's how, after just 2 short months, the Linsanity era in New York came to an end. With the Rockets, Lin had a solid but not spectacular 2 seasons, averaging 13 points and
That's
5.2
decent. That's a role
assists,
player stat, though.
44% shooting, and 34%
I ain't gonna lie, he
playing
improved.
a second fiddle behind James Harden. It's probably the best he could have done with such a ball-dominant guard. But for
Facts.
the rest of his career, Lin never reached the heights of Linsanity. After leaving New York, Lin played for 7 more seasons, averaging 12 points and 4.3 assists.
That's
before
good, bro.
retiring from the NBA at the age of 30, mainly due to persistent knee injuries. In his last NBA season, Lin won the title with the Raptors, thus becoming the first Asian American
I didn't fucking know that. I didn't know he was on the team.
to
Yo.
win an NBA championship. After the NBA, Lin continued to play in China and Taiwan, the home country of his parents, where he still plays today at the age of 36. And despite a somewhat underwhelming career after Linsanity, Jeremy Lin will forever remain a people's champion, especially for Asians. Even though Yao Ming was the first Asian superstar in the NBA, Yao was a 7'6" freak in nature. And it was actually Lin, and not Yao, who moved the needle and broke racial barriers. I feel like Asians in general don't get the respect that we may deserve, whether it comes to sports, basketball, or whatever it might be. In some ways, Linsanity wouldn't have been Linsanity if I had a different skin color.
Yeah, especially in
Most likely, it
sport,
wouldn't
for
have been as
sure.
big a deal, and that went to my advantage. But if you look prior to that, a lot of the obstacles to even get to that point where I could get to a position of getting on the floor, those were definitely obstacles that were very much stereotypes that I had to fight along the way. Jeremy never liked Linsanity and the spotlight it brought. But for New Yorkers, Asians, and many NBA fans around the world, those 2 magical months will forever stay in their memory in what was one of the best success stories in sports history.
Damn.
Thank you for watching. And if you like
Nice video, bro.